With Judge Mablean will be life, because in everything we do, it involves the law. Where's your witness?
In the evidence.
That's hearsay.
It's notarized.
I still say it's hearsay.
She's fair.
You got to help these young men learn how to do this the right way.
Yes, Your Honor.
She's firm.
Can I say something, Your Honor?
No, I don't need to say anything else.
She's honest.
I'm not your child and I'm not your friend. That's the order of the court. Goodbye.
This is Justice with Judge Mablean.
All rise. All parties, raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Court is now in session with the Honorable Judge Mablean presiding.
Thank you. You may be seated. This is the matter of Cassandra Jones versus Deandra Coles. I understand that you owned a floral business and you're suing Ms. Coles because you claim that she messed up your orders, and as a result, you lost a client and lost some business. And so you're suing her for $6,683.40. Is that right?
Yes, exactly.
So start from the top. Tell me, what type of business is it?
It is a floral business.
All right, and you're the owner?
Yes. Right. And Deandra is one of my florists as well as a family member. So I offered her a position, offered her to handle my two biggest clients because I needed help around the time. And she switched the orders completely for the two events.
Now tell me how she switched them. What was the order for the first client?
The first client was a singles mixer for Valentine's Day. A very bright pink, white, hot pink flowers, very bright and welcoming. And the next event was an Anti-Valentines Day mixer. A very black, gothic, coffin-shaped roses decorations. And Deandra mixed up the instructions in the email.
So she mixed up on the type of floral arrangements or the delivery?
She messed up on both, actually. The flowers were delivered, just the wrong flowers to each location.
They were switched, Your Honor.
Okay, you switched the orders.
By
Yes,
accident,
she switched the orders.
I'm going to give you your opportunity. I would imagine that you didn't do it deliberately, because that's a whole different issue.
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
okay,
definitely.
but either way, I need,
Yeah.
So she had the flowers delivered to the wrong persons.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
I asked her if she can handle it. She said she can, and I trusted her.
Where were you?
I was having some family issues. I was with my dad. He was having surgery.
Okay. And had she done this before?
No, but she's been working with me for almost a year, and everything was going smoothly.
Well, when she worked with you for almost a year, what were her duties? Because that's what I asked. Has she ever done anything like this before, where she gets the floral arrangements and then has them delivered?
She hasn't handled major clients, but she does do day-to-day. She handles walk-in. She does the bouquets in the shop. Once in a while, I ask her for help with vendors, but I usually handle that part of the business.
So the arrangements were done properly?
They were done properly, yes.
But delivered to the wrong persons?
Yes, delivered to the wrong addresses.
Okay. So now how did that impact you because of delivery to the wrong address? It couldn't be corrected?
No, the parties were starting that day, and each client has a completely different aesthetic. So one client was manageable with the mistake. The next client, the Anti-Valentines Day mixer that asked for the black gothic flowers and got the bright pink ones, were very unhappy, lost their guest, thought that they're playing a joke on them, and made it clear that they no longer want to work with me. I've worked with them for 3 years, each of them.
Okay, so when the flowers are delivered, someone there has to receive the order, right?
Yeah.
So when you delivered the wrong flowers to the wrong venue, no one called right away and said, this is not what I ordered?
Nobody called and reported back that it was the wrong thing until the party started, and then the people got to the party and realized that it was the wrong arrangement.
Okay, I don't understand. What time did the party start? Say delivery number 1 for the pink flowers. What time was that party supposed to start?
I believe that party was supposed to start around 3.
Okay, and what time was the party for the black gothic flowers?
I believe that was probably around like 12, possibly.
Okay, and what time did you deliver?
They should have went out around, one should have went out around 11 to get there before then.
What do you mean should have? It didn't go out then?
It should have, yes, it did get there. The parties are...
Your Honor, as you can see, Deandra
Let me ask the questions. You obviously didn't make it clear to me, so I'm trying to get my own answers. So can you clear it up?
Yes, I sent her the emails of every instruction, everything she needed to make my client happy. So there was the Anti-Valentines Day on the contract, supposed to arrive at 8 p.m. on Valentine's Day. So the
8
black
p.m.
flowers. Those are the black flowers, yes.
And 8 p.m. versus noon, there's a big difference in that.
Yes, so you can see she's very, very disorganized. And
Okay,
didn't
and what
bother
time
to
were the
read
other
details.
What time was the other party?
Same time.
Both were at 8 p.m.?
Yes, both of them.
Okay, so for parties at 8 p.m., what time do you deliver the flowers?
Deliver them around 6 o'clock to set up everything.
Coming up on Justice with Judge Mablean.
When I landed, she called me panicking, telling me that her employees have left the company and she was wondering if I could help step up and help her with some day-to-day tasks.
And later,
basically, I was using my motorcycle. I was doing my tricks, minding my own business. It was evening, about 6:37, but it was enough light for you to be able to tell that I was there.
we're back with the case of Cassandra Jones, who is suing her cousin, Deandra Coles, for negligence.
Were the orders delivered in time?
Yes, I was told they were delivered in time and the parties were still set up thoroughly. It was just they were set up at the wrong location because I switched the location by accident in the email. So the wrong parties were set up at the wrong location.
When did you get notice that the flowers had been delivered to the wrong venues?
I got notice within an hour of the party starting because Cassandra called me, yelling at me, not letting me get a single word in about trying to handle anything. And as soon as she did, I called both parties and tried to work out both situations. One party actually was in favor.
You can't tell me one party. You have to tell me which party.
The singles Valentine's Day party actually enjoyed the fact that we gave them the mistake bouquets that we gave them with the black roses because they actually took it as something that was a cute, different alternative way to them saying they're single for Valentine's Day. They actually considered coming back, and I got to talk them down and save that client. The second client, however, they were completely, that anti-Valentine's Day party, they were completely not trying to hear any excuses anymore. They were just upset. They didn't get what they asked for. They didn't want no delayed times to fix anything, so they just decided to completely end their business. I understand it was a mishap, but this is business. It happens for a little mistake, but I did try my hardest
It wasn't
to fix
a little
everything.
mistake. I lost a major client and I would have lost
of
both.
the Black Gothic order?
The cost was exactly
Nothing, Your Honor, because she just refunded them.
$2,000.
And did you
For the
refund them
client.
the money?
Yes, I had to pay them myself. Refund them.
So you lost that, and then they withdrew their business from you?
Yes, after working with them for 3 years.
Okay. And for the client that had the Valentine's Peak party, they kept the Gothic flowers.
Yes,
Did you have
they
to
were-
refund them anything?
No, I offered them a discount. They seemed content, but either way, it was a mistake. It was just a lucky
Got it.
mistake.
My question was, did you have to refund them anything?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so how did you come up with $6,683?
Because the $2,000 was for this event that I had to refund. The next $2,000 was the canceled future events that they would have booked me for, but now
Had they
don't
booked
have
you
that.
for those?
They haven't ordered yet, but we've been working together for 3 years, and we had a very good relationship.
Okay,
up
so
until
you
this
didn't
mishap.
lose the other $4,000. You're talking about perhaps, and maybe you would have lost the $4,000 because anything could have come along in the next 2 years that would have kept them from ordering from you.
Exactly.
Possibly,
didn't lose
but they did make it clear it was because of this mistake that they are not going to order with me.
Okay. All right. So that's still only $6,000. Where did the $683.40 come from?
Oh, the $400 were for the 2 hired workers that Deandra needed that day since she wasn't available, and they did
Because
the
she
wrong
wasn't
work.
available? Is that why you hired them? Because you weren't available?
Neither of us were available that day, ma'am.
I had a real reason.
Okay, so the way I understand most floral companies, they have someone in the shop who puts the floral arrangements together. They usually have other persons who leave to make the deliveries.
Basically, when I first got hired in with her, with my cousin, she hired me in as the floral artist that made the arrangements, and that was my sole duty at first.
So you did that on these 2 orders?
Yes.
Okay. And she had other people as drivers.
No, what happened was, as we was going good for a year, I went on vacation with my boyfriend, and as I got back from vacation, she tells me the day of that the 2 people she had has quit. And so
The day of what?
that I got back from vacation. The day of when I landed, she called me panicking, telling me that her employees have left the company and she was wondering if I could help step up and help her with some day-to-day tasks because she handles the big picture and the financial stuff of the company.
And how many days was that in relation to these two orders?
This was 10 days before the events.
Okay. So within 10 days before, you guys didn't have the ability to hire somebody temporarily to deliver?
I was
That's what
working
I
on new
stepped in to
hires
do.
while I asked Deandra if she can handle the clients for now.
But
I was
still
working on
stepped
getting
in
new
and
We're
hires.
talking at the same
I was
time.
working on getting new hires, getting new clients, getting everything ready
So
for the
you left her to
day-to-day.
handle the day-to-day?
Yes.
And left her without any delivery persons?
Yes.
Yes.
And never
But she
hired
did
any
ask
actual
me
help.
if she could hire outside help, which I agreed to. I
but
agreed
never
to hire
hired anybody,
outside
so
help
I
for
had
her.
to go and hire 2 people myself.
Which I
and ask
agreed
her
to
if
and
she
offered
could
to
Stop
pay
do
them.
it. Both of you are talking at the same time. I'm not going to have it. Okay, so you weren't there. She's doing day-to-day now. She hired 2 people temporarily to help her with deliveries. Is that not what she should have done?
No, I'm not upset about the
So why are
day-to-day
you asking her for a
deliveries.
refund?
Because they did the wrong deliveries.
Okay,
They
mistakes
did the
happen.
wrong deliveries.
She's an employee at this point. She made a mistake. You lose business. You lost 1 client. You have to refund. That's the cost of doing business. But
Agree,
bottom
mistakes
line
were
is
made.
you can't force an employee to refund you money for a mistake that was made that caused a business loss. That's the cost of doing business. You can fire her, which I guess you've done, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, you can fire her, but she doesn't have to refund any money. Judgment for the defendant.
Judge Mablean has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been denied.
I told you I was completely ridiculous in the first place.
It wasn't ridiculous. This happened because of your mistake.
Coming up,
Mr. Ortiz had fallen off his motorcycle and landed on the hood of my car and dented it. He was popping a wheelie, Your Honor.
Court is now in session with the Honorable Judge Mablean presiding.
In the matter of Lois Daly versus Anthony Ortiz, Ms. Daly, you're suing him for $1,000, which is basically your $1,000 deductible against your automobile policy for the damage done to your car by his bike. Interesting. Or by him. And the defendant says, I lost control because she put on those bright headlights and it blinded me. So he lost control of his motorcycle. So tell me what's going on.
Good morning,
Good morning.
Your Honor. Well, last fall, one evening, I was driving home from work. It was getting dark and I turned the lights on. I was on a very narrow residential street and all of a sudden something was coming at me. I couldn't see what it was. It was up in the air. So I panicked and I turned the high beams on. Just at that moment, Mr. Ortiz had fallen off his motorcycle and landed on the hood of my car and dented it. He was popping a wheelie, Your Honor.
Okay. In a residential community.
In a residential narrow street in the dark.
All right. And so you took your car for the damages to get repaired?
I have not gotten it repaired. I have a picture of the dent.
Oh, you have a picture of the dent? Oh, you're waiting on your $1,000 deductible.
Exactly.
So your body caused all of that damage?
Apparently, Your Honor.
coming up.
So I was on my side doing my tricks and I noticed a vehicle approaching. I didn't make much of it. And then within seconds, I was up doing a wheelie and then I just see these lights blind me.
We're back with the case of Lois Daly, who is suing Anthony Ortiz for property damage.
What happened?
Basically, Your Honor, let me tell you how it went. So I've been practicing how to ride bikes for a couple years now. I've done it for about 4. I recently just moved into the neighborhood, so I've seen a couple people actually do bike tricks on the street, so I said, why not? Basically, I was using my motorcycle. I was doing my tricks, minding my own business. It was evening, about 6:37, but it was enough light for you to be able to tell that I was there in person.
Not
where you
safe.
did not need to have your high beams.
Hold on a second. Enough light for you to tell that you were there.
Yes, and
according
for
to
other
your
cars.
eyesight.
Yes, Your Honor. And also, other cars didn't have their headlights nor high beams while they were passing, so I figured it was still enough daylight where we didn't need that. So I was on my side doing my tricks, and I noticed a vehicle approaching. I didn't make much of it, and then within seconds, I was up doing a wheelie, and then I just see these lights blind me. And then next do you know, my hood...
Wait a minute, you saw a vehicle approaching and you didn't make most of...
No, because I was on the right side and they were on the left. So
Okay.
I was on my right of way, they were on the right of way.
All right.
So I did my tricks, and while I was in the air, all I remember was a big flash, and then I land on the hood. My bike does not touch her vehicle. It landed right in front of it. I tipped right over it. She gets off. Me being new to the neighborhood and being, I don't want to involve the police nor my parents, we talked about it. We talked about it in a case where she knew she was at fault because she blinded me, so we both agreed that we would not go to court. And then a couple weeks later, I get a call with an estimate of $1,000.
Okay, so you both agreed you wouldn't go to court, but how was her car going to get repaired?
We were both agreed that because she blinded me, that she would have to figure her out on her
That was not what we
Oh, so
agreed
you're
on.
saying that she admitted it was her fault.
I did not.
And said, I'll pay to get my car repaired, and we won't call the police, and I won't turn it into my insurance, and we won't tell your parents.
Yes,
Your
Your
Honor.
Honor. That's why we didn't involve insurance companies.
Judge Mablean's verdict when Justice with Judge Mablean returns.
When you use the phrase enough light for you to not have to do it, that's one of those phrases that's variable, because enough light for you is not necessarily enough light for her. And you're correct. You shouldn't have turned on your high beam. You only supposed to turn on your high beam when there's darkness, but never when you're approaching another vehicle. So that was the wrong thing to do, was to turn on the high beam when you saw something go up. So that was a mistake on your part. Not only was it a mistake, it was illegal. Nevertheless, it was also illegal for you over here to do a wheelie. No matter how old you are, no matter how many years you've been doing it, no matter how many people you've seen doing it, it's still illegal. So you were at fault as well. Both of you were at fault. We call that comparative fault. So you had fault and you had fault. If it's going to cost you $1,000 to get your car repaired, then I'm going to order you, Mr. Ortiz, to pay her $500 for the repairs of that vehicle. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $500.
Judge Mablean has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $500.
I do apologize. I'm sorry. We should have figured things out before.
I should have called my insurance company, and I should have called your parents.
Wow. I literally just said sorry.